Alright, what's up? It's OP Koa, and we're coming at you with some more Buggy gameplay. I am just really enjoying this leader. So, I've got a bunch of games on him, and I'd love to just show a few more. So, we've got 5 games for you today. And let's sit back, relax, and take a look. Okay. We're into Blue Yellow Queen, who has a very unique leader ability, and we start off very strong. We've got a turn 1 Mr. 3, we have turn 3 Marguerite, we hit a Pilaf out of life, and we're able to play down stage as well. He's going to get aggressive. We're going to block out of that. We want to keep our health healthy. And yeah, I think here we've got Crocodile to Mr. 1. And we got the option to use stage again, but we've got a pretty solid hand. Only thing we might want to look for is another Crocodile. And we find it. That is why stage is so good. So some of these games I'm not on stage, and some of them I am. When you play stage, it feels really good. And the fact that you can discard stage off of so many of your abilities, maybe it's not so bad to have as a 2 of. That way when you see it, and when you don't, it's not that big of a deal. Okay, so Isanji Katakuri's putting my Crocodile to the bottom. I do find another Crocodile, which is huge. And then I would like to just keep playing Crocodiles, try and develop a board, because I would like to Buggy to just put his cards to the bottom. And then I dump Pilaf here. And then I think I pass, because I don't want to swing, because I'll lose board. Actually, I mean, I do have a lot of counter. No, I only have 2 for 2Ks, so that's not a lot. Okay, he red rocks me. Pretty unfortunate. And then if he just goes face, I'm a little sad, but... And then that's exactly what we were looking for, the Mr. 1. And now we make our Buggy play, and we're gonna have back-to-back Buggies pretty easily. I just need to find another 5 cost, and I've already got one in hand. It just happens to be a 2K, but... Yep. I think there's no harm in swinging out here. He drops a blocker and an ace. He's going to gain a life using leader ability and then take care of one of my bodies. I will just hard play Buggy, putting his Katakuri to the bottom, and now I've just kind of got an overwhelming board state right here. Yeah, he's got a million blockers, but I've got a million bodies, so which one would you rather have? Yep, and here he's got 2 life off because of Yamato, but yeah, I'm pretty sure we had a guaranteed lethal there. So, and he hit 2 bricks off of life, so it was not looking good for him. Let's jump into the next one. Okay, we've got a game against Shanks. So normally in my videos I don't keep the losses in there because, you know, there's a fair bit of rage quitting on my end, and sometimes I don't play out those games very well. Just blatant mistakes that I'd assume most people do not want to see. So there might be some losses in here. I'm pretty sure this game's a win, but I have lost to many a Shanks. Luckily, he just has no plays for the first couple turns, so it's looking very good. And then the one thing that I was trying to do against Shanks was play it very aggressive, very fast, by trying to drop crocodiles, use leader ability as fast and as often as possible. I don't think that you have to do that. I think you can still play a normal game. So like developing your Mihawk on 6, you're in no rush. Yes, Shanks can be very aggressive sometimes, but he also isn't always that way, so. Yeah, here we get some good value. We Jozu his Silver's Rayleigh, and then he ends up countering out with it. He has a million cards. I'm kind of wishing I had a pudding here. But again, some of these lists are not on pudding, so I'm not sure if this is one of the games where I have pudding in the deck or not. But I do think pudding feels mandatory. He does Otama Ben Beckman me, removing one of my bodies, so I'm no longer going to be able to do a Buggy play. But that's okay. We're just going to set this up our own way. He did minus on Jozu, so. I'm just counting out Dawn here. I do find a Mr. 1, which is helpful. And then I can play over this Mr. 3, maybe play this Marguerite. Okay, don't do that. I'm gonna find another Crocodile. That'll help if he removes a bunch of bodies. And then I can, I had another Marguerite. My hand is massive, so is his though, to be fair. I've got 2 blockers though, so I'm hoping I can keep this board, even if he develops a big body here, and then I'll be able to Buggy him. Granted, I don't think it's actually that bad to leader ability to play Buggy, because it's like a 5 cost red rock, and then you have to discard a card, which I think sometimes you would actually play that card and be happy about it. So it's an option. Don't forget that you can do that. But here, I mean, we don't need to do that. And then I should have blocked with this Marguerite twice. Definitely just a mistake. Oh, here I have the option of trying to go for game. But I think I'd rather just burn his cards, play this Mr. 1. But I'm my power's minus because of that Rayleigh, so it's a lot harder. Yeah, and then we just Buggy the Silvers to the bottom, and now we're pretty set up to go for game next turn. We can just start off with like a 13k swing and see what happens. He's gonna go 9 lead. We don't care. I'm trying to finish this game. 9 again. It's definitely a take for me. Actually, it doesn't matter. So just counter out, and then we'll go for game. Yeah, 13. See if he can counter out of that. And then I think we just walk him down with 7s, and then the rest on Buggy. So 3 more Dawn. Yeah, and then 11 with Buggy. He Red Hawks. And yeah, he ran out of counter there. So you can beat Shanks. It's a very hard matchup though. in my experience. Yeah, let's take a look at Bonnie now. So Bonnie has a pretty annoying start here. Double Searcher, Cavendish, and then I don't have a 3-drop play, which is kind of worst case scenario in this deck. But we do have Crocodile Mr. 1. We're going to find a Pilaf, which is going to help us recover some of these cards. And then I did just dump Jozu, which I feel like a little bit of a mistake, because it would have been a huge tempo play to like bounce Cavendish back to his hand after I like swing at him a bunch too. So yeah, and then I could have replayed Jozu. And then I do also end up like experimenting with Gravity Blade, and like Gravity Blade would be crazy here. If he drops another 5-drop, he does. Carrot. Yeah, but we're just gonna try and stay healthy against Bonnie, control board, and then start to get value off of our buggies where we can. Oh, and this is a buggy turn, so don't go after Basil Hawkins, because you will fail that. He will just rest your buggy. But I'm pretty stabilized here because he's not going to remove my board. I've just got another buggy chilling in my hand, so just play the buggy and yeah, let's try and deal with Carrot. Oh, and Basil Hawkins too. Yeah, let's just deal with his board. And then leader ability Buggy. Yeah. He Dofies me. So like this is definitely his win condition, is back to back 10-drop Doflamingos. Which we're gonna help him do that. But even if he does that, I mean, there's a world where I'm able to go for game as well, so. So he does swing at a board and then go face, so that's making me feel like he doesn't have it. He probably doesn't have a Hody either. And then he drops triple blocker on me, which is actually terrifying, because it means that I'm not going to be able to go for game. And I'm also not going to be able to remove his 10-drop Doflamingo. And I'm going to struggle to remove this baby 5 as well. So yeah, it's just all bad here. Okay, Mihawk makes me feel a lot safer. And then we're going to deal with his Searcher. I think going face was just as good there. Actually, going face is just strictly better. At this stage in the game, if he's wasting his Dawn searching, we're pretty happy. So, yeah, here he's got to go 8, 10 and try and go for game, but yep, we're just going to counter out of that, and that is it from our opponent. He did end up having a lot of, well, he had 6k counter, but a lot of bricks in hand. Shanks, I think, was probably his best play. I don't know when he found that, but I think that he should have gotten that down a little bit sooner. Would have ruined my day. Okay, and let's take a peek into RP Luffy. Dude, RP Luffy gets scary because it's just crazy consistent, and the bodies you drop off of it are very strong. Now that you'll get Rush Luffy, the 9-drop one, and then I don't have a very good hand either, so we're not going to be able to find enough counter. And then I just messed up. I swing 5 into the 6k leader. Yeah, I should have just stacked all my Dawn onto Buggy. That way I put him down to 2 life, where he gives me a bunch of cards. And now he's a 7k leader, and he has a Yasop, which Yasop is a really hard card to deal with sometimes. For Buggy, it's just awkward to swing into. The leader buff is very relevant. But we do have Mr. 1, sorry, Crocodile into a Mr. 1. And then we've got another Crocodile into Mr. 1 next turn, into a Marguerite as well. So we're just trying to live. Yeah, see, 7 into 5 is just a nightmare for me. And then he's going to go 7 into face. His leader is just so strong. And Sanji has Rush. Oh my gosh. It's so bad. Yeah, so we just die to like a big Luffy 9 times out of 10 here. Oh, that Gravity Blade would have been good if Sanji was a 6 cost. Yeah, and then we just have to try and handle this Yasop. He's probably just going to counter though. Yep, and we're looking really dead. Really, really dead. Sorry, that was a yawn. Okay, he negates. That's just as bad for me. So now I can't even try to go for game. I've got I do have a Buggy play here. But then I'm getting rid of counter out of my hand, so that surely can't be good. Yep, and then he goes big Luffy. Gear 5 Luffy for game. What a good feeling for my opponent, but yeah, we're not going to be able to handle this, and yeah, that's the game. Okay, and let's take a look at our last match. This is going to be another hard matchup for us. Doflamingo, without the promo, Buggy, this matchup is pretty cooked. You don't really have good tools to deal with aggressive decks. And then anytime they find a Jinbei, an early Jinbei is just like game over. And then I counter out there really aggressively because I'm going to play Pilaf. And yeah, I think it's a mistake looking back at it. And then I'm hoping he bounce laws my Mr. 3. But you have to play around putting into blue. Sorry, to finish my thought. And then here it's like, yep, swing 5. And I should have swung 5 into Jinbei. Oh, I thought I was gonna Jozu here. I think I should Jozu, because that at least gets a body off the board. Yeah, I think Jozu's a little bit better there. And then he red rocks my guy, and I'm like, holy crap, I'm so screwed. Because like I'm not gonna be able to remove anything. I'm gonna swing 5 into this Jinbei and play this Crocodile. So yeah, I've got a couple 2Ks and a dream. Yeah, but he bounced he bounced Jozu's my Mr. 1. I'm gonna give him all my counter. Yeah, so like 2 mistakes. I think, yes, you're scared of putting, but sometimes you have to play into it because you have no other choice. And then probably play Jozu a little bit more proactively. Getting Jozu down earlier would have been better. Because now I'm going to Jozu and it's just not going to matter. Oh. Yeah, Jozu this Boa, right? I could Jozu the Jozu because it's a 7K. You go 7 into 5. He's in block 2K. Yep. And then he Sengoku's and then re-Jozu's me. Jozu my Jozu. Or just Boa. Actually, timeout. What is he doing? Just go for a game. You've got a million attackers. And 10 Dawn. And I have 1 life. Okay, and I give up there. I don't have any counter for his last attack. And that's the game. We're still experimenting with the deck list. I will show it just because. But this is kind of what I'm on, and I'm already thinking that I want to change some things. But yeah, for Mr. 1, I think, so this is the card that I think I would cut, is I'd cut a copy of this for the 4th Cross Guild, because I think this engine of like 4 Mr. 3, which we've got the guidelines, there we go. Sorry, having the engine of 4 Mr. 3, 4 Cross Guild, and 2 Karibari Island, it feels like it makes your deck so consistent. And that's why it's like, I don't feel bad about cutting a Mihawk, because this card is a little bit clunky to play. You'd almost always rather play Crocodile. Mihawk curves out really good when you're on even, but again, you'd almost always just rather play Crocodile or like a Jozu. Down to 2 Jozu. I think it's a really niche card. Yes, it helps in your Doflamingo matchup, but that matchup is just bad. So I think making all of your other matchups worse is just not worth it. I'm on the 2 pudding. I think pudding's just like huge in this meta. Sometimes people just have to play into it, and it's very helpful. 2 of this 2K counter Mr. Bonclay. It's also a Baroque work, so it's searchable off of Mr. 3, and it's playable off of Crocodile, which is relevant. And then we've got the we're gonna be up to 4 Cross Guild. Let me just live do that. Oh wait, that's the wrong card. And then the other weird thing is I'm on 2 Gravity Blade. Again, another just like huge tempo swing card. So like if you can start the game off with like a Mr. 3 into Marguerite, you're and you're on the even curve, right? So you go neutral, you have a blocker. Then on 6, you Jozu, pick up the Mr. 3, bounce one of their things. You've swung, so if you're eating cards from their hand, you blocked a free 7k swing off of leader. And then after all of that, you Gravity Blade on like 8 and like play your Mr. 3. Maybe after you like Jozu on 6 dawn, then you like actually have a chance of winning into Doflamingo. I also think like Shanks puts out a lot of annoying little bodies like Lucky Roo and Yasop into like purple if they drop lots of Zoros, the 4-cost Zoros there. So I think Gravity Blade has a lot of good options, and then you're basically running 4 Red Rock because you're on 4 Buggy. So there's that. Anyways, hopefully you enjoyed. I'm really enjoying this Buggy leader. He's very unique. His leader ability is cheating, but it's really interesting. So I think they did a good job with this leader, and thanks again for watching. Till next time, peace.